Sportscenter. Game 2 between the Rockets and Warriors is in Houston again tonight. Warriors shoot around just getting underway now. Now remember, Golden State's going to look to take another one on the road and take a 2-0 series lead back to the Bay Area, but they'll need more greatness from Steph if that plan is going to play out. He had 31 points in Sunday's Game 1, where the Warriors built a huge lead in the first half. The Rockets got close late, but could never really quite recover. So with Game 2 just hours away, we welcome in NBA reporter Young Masuk live from Houston. And after the Warriors' Game 1 win, we heard Jimmy Butler say he loves the organized chaos led by Steph Curry. So enlighten us, please. What exactly does that mean?
Well, of course, the organized chaos is Mr. Curry, who, basically just runs miles and miles around the court, trying to fight his way through every screen, every grab, every hug, and then comes up with something insane like a falling out of bounds three-pointer like he did in the third quarter. Steve Kerr, though, said that the addition of Jimmy Butler has allowed Golden State to change its offense to also involving an isolation offense, which they always haven't had. And so by that, he means we don't have to run 8 off-ball screens for, say, Clay or Steph in the past to get a good shot. We can dump the ball into Jimmy, play iso basketball, and he can make something happen. Of course, when Jimmy was asked about the organized chaos, he says he doesn't like turnovers like Steve Kerr doesn't like turnovers, but he said sometimes you got to take the good with the bad, the crooked with the straight, and he likes the organized chaos because it always bodes well for one player and usually bodes well for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, well, so if Jimmy Butler gets more touches, the Rockets really have been putting a lot of pressure Steph's way. Maybe that would move the pressure a little bit. What are you hearing about Steph's Game 2 approach against a very physical Houston defense?
In talking to some Golden State people yesterday at practice, they said they've countered teams that have done this before where they get physical with Steph off the ball. They really grab and hold him. But if you see with Houston, there are like 3 players hugging him in a row at times as he's trying to make his way, run his routes almost, and there's a lot of pass interference, if you will. Basically, they said the Houston Rockets do it more than most of the teams that they face, and you just notice it because there's 2, 3, 4 guys on Steph doing that. Brandon Podjemski told me the other day, look, in a way that we can counter it, it's just to make sure we get into our offensive flow. Don't hunt matchups as much. That is when Golden State sometimes can tend to get in trouble, and Houston can load up on Steph. And as you saw with Steph, he missed his first 3 shots of the game, all 3-pointers, but then his next 3 shots were all at the rim, and they were makes. So he's going to find a way to counter that physical defense.
Yeah, the positive, I guess, for Houston, even though they did lose the game with those 3-4 players basically rushing after Steph and toward the basket, they were able to have a 22-6 advantage on the offensive boards. I don't know. I'm trying to look on the bright side. We appreciate you. Enjoy the game later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, elsewhere in the West, the Lakers are busy trying to sort out their response to a blowout loss against the Timberwolves in Game 1. There you see Luka Doncic, who was busy and really is the majority of this highlight here as he drives inside, gets the soft mid-range step back to fall. Lakers by 8, then swing ball around. Doncic just splashing up very far beyond the arc 3. Doncic outscored the Timberwolves alone, 16-15 in the first quarter. Lakers led 34-15 after 1. We go to the second. Here's Doncic isolating Rudy Gobert on him, just dancing around him. Move out of my way as he hits the floater. LA in control here. Under 5 minutes left in the second. Doncic in the paint. There's Dorian Finney-Smith. Makes it look easy for the flush. Doncic joins Anthony Davis and Kobe Bryant as the only Lakers since 1997 with 20 points, 5 boards, 5 assists in a playoff half. And he was not done as the Lakers led big at the break. But Anthony Edwards getting in on the fun. Huge dunk over Jackson Hayes. How long was his hang time there? My goodness. Of course the bench is going crazy. T-Wolves trailing those still here. And then later in the third, Doncic isolating on Julius Randle and just blows by him. Nope, that's not going to work as I put the one-handed floater essentially in for a layup. Lakers lead 81-65 after 3. Then here's Austin Reeves looking for LeBron. Let's get him involved in the highlight. Age nothing but a number. Lakers by 11. A few minutes later, Lakers up 9. Minnesota cut that deficit to under 10, but yeah, that's not going to help you at all as you turn it over. LeBron had 21, 11, and 7. Doncic just 1 assist shy of a triple-double. Lakers win 94-85 and tie the series at 1 apiece. So Luka Doncic makes more history. He is the second player in NBA history to average 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists through his first 2 playoff games with the franchise. He joins Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who also did it with the Lakers in 1977.
Shay, moving over back to the NBA with a trio of Game 2s tonight as the Magic, Heat, and Rockets try to even their series. The Celtics look to take a commanding 2-0 series lead. They're 55-2 all-time and going up 2-0, but they might have to get it done without Jason Tatum, who's doubtful due to a bone bruise in his wrist. The Heat looking to avoid falling to a 2-0 hole against the Cavaliers. 8 seeds are 1-58 all time when trailing 0-2. The 94 Nuggets, the only team to overcome that deficit and win. And after dropping a season low 85 points in Game 1, the Rockets now have a must-win game against the Warriors tonight. Teams that dropped the first 2 games at home were just 6-52 all time in those series. Our betting analyst, Aaron Dolan, joining us now in studio. Let's go EKD for 3, my friend. Take us through the trio of bets that you're liking for tonight's NBA game. Start with the Warriors and the Rockets.
Let's start with Fred VanVleet to go over 2.5 made threes, as well as over 2.5 points in the first quarter. We're going to make a small same-game parlay, considering both these lines are juicy. Now, he really struggled in Game 1. He went 2 for 13 from 3, 4 from 19 from the field. Houston struggled overall. I think we see a better shooting performance from him tonight, so I'm going to do a little same-game parlay there. Elsewhere, I'm looking at the Heat in the first half, plus 7.5. It's always about the situation. And in Game 1, I really liked Cleveland to jump out in the first half of the game. They were laying 7.5 points, and they only were up by 8 points at the half, so they just covered by the hook. I think Miami gives their best performance that they possibly can in the first half of this game. I don't expect them to do much in the second half, so I'll take the 7.5 points. And last but not least, Jaylen Brown, over 18.5 points tonight. He was relatively quiet in Game 1, only putting up 16 points. But if Jason Tatum ultimately is not going to be playing in this game against Orlando during the regular season, he had a 35-point performance with Jason Tatum sideline. And sometimes the Celtics player props can be a little bit tricky because anybody can go off at any time. We know Game 1 was about Derek White, but I do think Jaylen Brown could have a big shooting performance tonight. So I'll take him over 18.5 points.
There is good news. The Celtics went 8-2 without Tatum during the regular season, but the bad news, both those losses came. We lost Mike.
All right, that's all right.
Mike will be, hopefully we can get him back.
You know, the NBA playoffs are going on, Jay Harris, and the great ones always have a bounce back in them. Case in point, the Los Angeles Lakers, who took care of business last night after being embarrassed in Game 1 against the T-Wolves. Luka was 1 assist shy of a triple-double. He had plenty of help, but Stephen A. wonders if last night was more about the Lakers stepping up or the Wolves slipping back.
Man, you don't know which Minnesota Timberwolves team is going to show up. They look discombobulated. They look disorganized. They look chaotic. You're dribbling too much. You're not spreading the floor properly. You're not making the extra pass. You're not, and don't get me started with this shooting 5 of 25 from three-point range after the way they shot lights out in Game 1. This is the reason why people felt this was a matchup made for the Los Angeles Lakers coming into this series.
I'm a little worried that Minnesota appeared to be, hey, you know what? We got a split. We won the first game. We'll go out there and play, and we'll see. Maybe we'll have a chance in the fourth quarter. And I think they didn't come with that urgency that you like to have. They were out of the game right away. The game was not competitive after the first quarter. That's one of those playoff games. You watch the first quarter, you've seen it all.
And what was alarming about last night's game is that he said he was confused by the defense the Lakers played on him. He said it was sort of a zone. You know, I'm not an X's and O's expert. I think the way the Lakers were playing against him is similar to the way they play against great scorers, where they just try to crowd the paint and dare the guy to kick and shoot threes. Maybe there was a new wrinkle that J.J. Redick came up with that I didn't see, and I'll grant for that. I don't think Ant Edwards showed the aggression he needed to show, considering the stakes.
And Ant-Man, what have I said? This brother can be Jordan-esque. He's got that kind of capability, that kind of talent. This brother's special. Yo, Ant-Man, you're not answering the call. You're not answering the call. I don't give a damn what the Lakers thought you. 23.5 points, 41% shooting, 35% from three-point range. We expect better. When you're going up against Luka Doncic and LeBron James, and you are the star of the other team, you got to do better than that.
He's right about that, because in Game 1, the Timberwolves were riding high. They made 29 open shots, including 17 of their playoff record 21 three-pointers. Game 2, different story. They only got 30 open shots and hit on 47% of them. Their three-point shooting was even worse, making only 21% of their attempts.
Chào các người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng với dòng chữ là Coca. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu làm nhé. Bảo sau lần trước chị soi ảnh sơn dương ấy, như kiểu này chị thấy là chị lạch mà chị lạch ấy, nhưng mà thân chị nó xem cái thân chị để hay là do chị chú căng thường luôn rõ hay là do chị nhẹ ra chị có ui giời Thành ơi nó chị không nước nóng
Thế bà
chị đang lọc cà phê cho mèo ạ.
tinh tế thì làm vào tới tận 1 giờ hay dễ giờ
Đấy, cái gì đấy? Ai cho con? Ai cho? Giỏi nhá. Đi về cái này cái ở đang quay video xong rồi. Anh con tin chưa? Các em thích trò đó đấy. Con ăn đi. Chỉ là không có về sao không ngủ được với em. Chị đang lọc rồi. Hôm nay đặt kịt luôn vậy không phải lo à. Ui ơi. Hôm nay lớp này nhiều đứa bị bắt đâu.